I didn't really do anything with the comedy world until you started. So, yeah, any doors that are open are from what I've seen. So
some people would
Tony.
say you're still not very much into the comedy world. Welcome back. It's a brand new episode of Laugh With Me, a podcast with Jeremy Odem. I am your host. If you follow me on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, then you saw the big announcement just last week. Yes, season 2 is coming of Laugh With Me, and we are going to be launching Laugh With Me podcast on YouTube. So much more to come on that. Just want to get that off right at the top. Major announcement, season 2. You're also going to be able to see us on YouTube. I almost said live. That we will not be live. We will definitely be recorded, but maybe we'll drop some lives in there sometimes, just for fun. How are you doing today? Has anyone asked you that? I gave a little pause in there so you could actually tell me. Go ahead and rewind here 15 seconds so that I can ask it again, and then you can say it out loud. Sometimes that feels good. It feels good to be asked how you're doing. And sometimes it's okay to tell them really how you are doing. I am going to take the first drink of this ice cold Leinenkugel summer shandy. Tell you what, now I'm doing real good. I'm ready to laugh. I'm ready to have fun. My cousin Tony Odem is the guest this week. You haven't seen him anywhere. You haven't heard him anywhere. But he's doing a lot behind the scenes. If you're a disc golfer in the state of Nebraska, you have most certainly been impacted by the work he's doing for the game. We're going to hear from him. We're going to hear about the tournament that he's hosting coming up here in May, and hear about the game itself. If you're not a fan of disc golf, or it's just because you don't know anything about it, get ready to learn just what you're missing. And we're not going to get into the weeds on disc golf itself, but we're going to give you enough so you kind of have an idea of what you're missing out on, which is a lot. It's a fun game. And then Tony's been through the mud on Facebook before with some battles. We're going to get into that and so much more. I've got a new joke I'm working on that is interesting to say the least. So stick around for the end of the episode for that. Without further ado, live in studio, it's Tony Odem on Laugh With Me. All right, we're recording now.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean this will make the cut.
Okay. Johnny's going to edit it.
Johnny's the worst at editing. Have you listened to any of the episodes?
I've listened to a lot of the episodes. I haven't gotten through all of them. I haven't watched the one with Cynthia Contreras.
That was the latest one.
Yeah, so I haven't gotten to your last one.
Are you familiar with her work? Have you ever seen Kill Tony?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man.
Is this a series or what is that?
Oh, no. Do you watch YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, hold on. Let me circle back. I mean, watching YouTube's one thing, but do you ever just get on your phone and go on like TikTok or Reels or something and just scroll your life away?
Yeah. Yeah. Reels, Instagram posts. Yeah. And
you've never come across like 2, 3, 4 guys at a table roasting a stand-up comic?
No.
And they're like back and forth. Okay, so it's like the #1 live podcast in the world. And
wow, okay.
Tony Hinchcliffe, he hosts the show, and he has a guest with him. So, I don't know, Pauly Shore. Okay. So Pauly Shore, let's say he's a guest. He's been a guest before. So they sit at this table, and then they have a bucket, and there's a live audience, and they pull names out of a bucket. Basically, people sign up to, it's an open mic. Okay. All right. And they put their name in the bucket. They get pulled out, And then if they get called up, then they come up and do 1 minute. They get 60 seconds to uninterrupted to say whatever they need to say, right? And then afterwards, there's like an interview portion, and it's basically a roast.
Yeah.
He's a roast comic, so it's basically a roast, and it's really entertaining. Some people do really, really good and can make like a career out of themselves from their 60 seconds on the show. Some people do really, really bad. A lot of people actually do really, really bad.
Do people cry at what they say?
I've never seen this show's been going for like 10 years. I'm new to it. Yeah, okay. I've just got in this past winter, but it's been going for like 10 years.
Well, I didn't really do anything with the comedy world until you started. So, yeah, any doors that are open are from what I've seen. So
some people would say you're still not very much into the comedy world.
I've been to the Funny Bone.
You have. You're right. Hey, thanks for coming to the show, by the way. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So this is Tony. For those of you that didn't recognize his voice, that would be 99% of the audience. But Tony is deep into the Nebraska disc golf scene. He's also my cousin, so we have known each other a long time.
A few years.
But I thought it would be really interesting to talk about disc golf, and I knew you listened to the show, so you understood the concept of the show. So I was like, you're like you're like a personality in yourself, like you always have been. Some people know you as my cousin Tony. Some people know you as the disc golf guy. Some people know you as the kid that on New Year's Eve one time got lifted up and farted in my friend's face. I wasn't gonna bring that up until you did, but here we are.
I actually thought that was going to be a great story to tell. Yeah. Was that Mike?
Yes, that was Mike.
Yeah. So, Mike, I'm not sorry. Shouldn't have lifted me up. But yeah, I've got a really good history with a lot of your friends.
Yeah.
Like Travis almost married my mom.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Eric, been around. John, we ran the Warrior Dash, So, yeah, I've looked up to you and your friends and Kyle too. I guess we'll give him some credit here.
Well, you're tall. You look down to Kyle technically because you're tall.
Nowadays,
right?
nowadays, yeah. But I mean, I'm 34 years old, and you guys have not lived with your parents for a long time, so it's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah,
it's been a while.
So anyone who's not familiar with what a Warrior Dash is, it's a mud run. It's a 5K. Do you miss doing them?
Well, so we just did one again. Kyle and I did one in September, I think, down in Kansas City. Yeah. So yeah, okay, people can't see me. I'm a big guy, but I also would consider myself pretty athletic.
You're in shape.
So, we'll call it fathletic. Yeah.
Is that a real word?
I don't know. I just made it up.
I love it.
But yeah, I missed, I work out, but it's the challenge of overcoming something that really drives me. So it's like Warrior Dash. That's it's 5K. It's not a long run, but there's a lot of challenge to that. So yeah, I was really excited to get to do that again, and hopefully we keep it going. My wife was going to join me, but somehow she got pregnant. So she didn't do it the last time.
Well, hopefully you found out how. The what I loved about the mud runs, I loved it when it rained, because those hot summer days, and it's out in a field, it's dry, and I like to think I used to be athletic, and then Crohn's disease really takes a toll on your body, and I just hurt all the time now. But I didn't like running in the heat and the dry. But when it rained that day, I could have ran forever.
I was actually really mad that day because the running, I ran a little bit, but the obstacles are the fun part.
Yep.
You get to the last one and you got to climb the tower, right? And then you get to go down the giant water slide.
Yeah.
We got to the tower and they shut it down for lightning in the area one year on us.
I remember that.
And I was like, and they're like, we couldn't even get our free beers.
Yep.
I was so mad about that. It's like, what did I even come here for if I can't go down the slide and drink a beer?
Yeah. I mean, the beer at the end, That's why we do it.
Yep, that's why we do it.
Yep. And if you haven't had a summer run in the mud and then had a ice cold Leinenkugel summer shandy after, what are you even really doing with your life? And honestly, they're available right now, Leinenkugel summer shandy. It may not feel like summer, but it will once you pick up a nice ice cold 12-pack of Leinenkugel's summer shandy.
In stores now?
In stores now.
Yes.
Yep. Let's talk about disc golf, dude. Like, how long you been playing?
Number of years. I don't know. Picked it up right after high school. So going into college in the fall, me and a few friends doing nothing over the summer. Some guy just found a random disc out there. He's like, oh, we can throw this thing, and there's these metal objects in the woods to throw them at. So we all just start jacking around, throwing frisbees around, right? And that's just kind of how we passed the summer along.
Did it really start like that? Like you found a disc and you saw a metal object and you're like, we could throw this at it?
Yeah.
Or you knew it had something to do with it?
One of my friends knew,
Okay.
like did the research, but like
Gotcha.
he's like, hey guys, I found this thing and let's go do it. So
I thought maybe it was the origin story of disc golf. I'm like, holy cow. This is actually how the game started?
No.
It's incredible. I didn't know you were that deep into it.
I'm actually like a reincarnated version. I founded the sport years back in like the 60s, 70s. So lived a short life. Drugs were really rampant then.
Yeah, they were.
No, but yeah, that's it was really just a truly casual thing for me then. But I quickly realized that there's a whole competitive side of this thing. So
You're a competitive guy.
I'm a competitive guy. That's all I do. Like, I'm the kind of guy that gets really pissed off and wants to fight at beer league softball. So yeah,
You and me wouldn't be good on the same team because I'm the same way. And my teammates, my friends don't like that. They're like, come on, Jeremy, calm down. I'm like, no. It was a ball.
if you're competing, your goal is to win.
That's right.
If you're not trying to win, why the hell are you on my team, out there, anything like that? I want no part of you. So, and if you don't have proper officiating, there's a problem.
I totally agree with that. They're getting paid. Yeah. If they're a volunteer, it's one thing. Thank you for helping out so we can play our stupid game. But if you're getting paid, even if it's just whatever it is, you're getting paid, you should take it semi-seriously. Because I'm taking it seriously. Mm-hmm. I paid money to play this. Yeah, anyway.
Paid money for a nice printed sublimated jersey. Like, I'm trying to look good.
Yep.
And we just said it. If you get paid, you're a pro. So
that's right.
Umpires, pure league softball, you're getting paid. Be a pro. Be better than Angel Hernandez.
How does your wife take that? You're so competitive. She doesn't seem like the type of person that is ultra competitive. Not that she isn't competitive, but like at the level you are.
Yeah. So she's regularly pulling me back, telling me to calm down, telling me that it's just a game.
Yeah.
My daughter, I have a 5-year-old daughter who started micro soccer last year. And we've had the conversation about like Tony.
That's where she plays with little people. Is it just because she's really good?
Little people. She's really tall for her age too.
Yeah.
So yeah. Wow. No, little 4-on-4 action, but yeah, we've had the conversation about whether or not I should coach my kids, and I've chosen to step back because I know how I can get, but their coach had to miss a game, and I stepped in. And I'm sitting there the whole time just gritting my teeth because my daughter is not the one giving the most effort running the fastest out there. And I'm like, you gotta try harder. Quit standing there and get after the ball. She wasn't even in kindergarten at that point. I guess she had just started kindergarten, but it's like
you try to coach her up after the game, and you're like, "You remember this?" And she's like, "No."
Yeah,
like, no, I remember it vividly, and you really need to pick it up.
No, I don't want to push her away from getting to that competitive level because I know I didn't start out that way either. So. We'll wait a little bit till I get a little harder on her.
We're getting away from disc golf, but
sorry.
I do want to ask you this because I think it may involve disc golf. You're at this point because I still think it's still to come, but your highest athletic achievement that you've ever had, and we talked. You just said, well, I know I didn't start there. I know you played as a kid. I also know that you're a champion softball player. You also have the disc golf. You've done the mud runs. I know you've lost to me in some like backyard football. What would you say is your highest achievement in athletics?
Individually, because teams are awful nowadays. I would say I was the 2021 Nebraska Amateur Disc Golf State Champion, which, I mean, that title's a little fluky because the Cornhusker...
Don't play it down. That title's badass.
The Cornhusker State Games have been the de facto amateur championships for years.
You know what? This is the number one comedy podcast that primarily broadcasts out of Gretna, Nebraska that has a red-haired host. I don't care how you get there. We're number one. Okay.
Champions, right?
Champions, baby.
So, yeah, I would say, I mean, that was probably it. You know, any sport you put a lot of effort into, and people who don't play disc golf think, oh, you're just throwing frisbees. It's no big deal, right? No, it's not easy. Like, nobody can just pick up a disc and throw it 300 feet and then let alone try to put their putter in the basket from 20 feet out. And that day, everything was clicking for me. Like, we played that as 2 rounds of 18 holes, and then there's a final 9 for the top 4 competitors that's on like they call it safari style course. So we just tee off from random places and go to a basket. I was up 9-10 strokes before we even went into that.
Wow.
And I only gave up 1 during that time, just because I was playing safe. So,
well, once you have that lead.
Yeah. Well, it was a cakewalk at that point. It's like, all right, let's just finish it out. So, yeah, I mean, and the reason, too, that was such a big accomplishment is just a couple years before that, in Kearney, we competed and for the same event, and I had a big lead after the first round, and I still had a pretty good, like a 6-stroke lead, I think, after the second round. So we go into this final 9 again, and I choked. Well, I didn't lose it in that final 9. Technically, me and another guy tied. So we then go into a sudden death playoff where I throw a pretty good shot on the first hole. He throws a really bad shot into some trees, and somehow from like 80, 90 feet, he threw it in.
Wow.
And I had like a 20-foot putt and was so shook by that I missed, and he won the gold medal. So I came back a couple years later.
But you came back 2021. I mean, arguably, you could say nobody came out of the pandemic better than you did.
I would say that's a fact.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So your highest athletic achievement is recent. I mean, 2021 is recent. You're still playing the game. What's your, I guess, level of investment in the game today? And I'm talking about time, energy, playing.
Yeah, you know, life comes at you pretty fast. You have kids. You're
talking about the foot you lost? That's okay. They'll get you something for that.
They make prosthetics for that.
There's people that are in the Olympics with like one leg. You can play disc golf.
That's a good point. Maybe we'll get there. No, but yeah, you know, I don't know. It's probably just a couple hours a week anymore. I try to get around in, but we just built a course in Lincoln too that's really kid friendly. So trying to get the kids more invested in wanting to go out and throw a little bit. So yeah, a few hours. But then I spend a lot more time these days really doing some of our board of directors work in Lincoln for our local club. And then I direct a big tournament, the biggest tournament in the state nowadays too. So
you're on the board of directors?
I'm not technically on the board of directors anymore. I was treasurer previously. I didn't want to run for that anymore because I'm supporting the club as that official tournament director now.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I've been president of that board. I've been treasurer of that board for a lot of years, and I'm still going to those meetings in my capacity, just not one of those official voting members anymore. So
yeah. So a little different being just a respected person in the scene going to those meetings, but do you feel like the game is growing?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, people look back at COVID for one as a giant boom period. The number of manufacturers that produce discs grew. The number of players, members of the Professional Disc Golf Association grew immensely. From a Pro Tour perspective, we're seeing so many more sponsors enter the space too, and allowing people to make a living off of the sport more. But locally, we went from, looking back at 2013, I think, is when we last had one 27-hole course in Lincoln and then another 9-hole course. So 36 holes in total in a city of 250,000. Around that time, they were doing some construction work that we had to divide a course So the 27-hole course became an 18-hole course, and we built another 18-hole course on the other side of the interstate. So now we've got 3 courses in total. Since then, we've built another course, which has quickly risen to the number 1 course in the state on the south side of town. And then we've got a new family-friendly course in town. So just in a small area, just one city, we quadrupled the number of courses.
Wow.
And the number of holes available for people to play in.
And is that pretty consistent across the country?
Yeah, I would say that you're seeing the number of course growth per year has just been rising immensely. I mean, there are companies who do this professionally now too, like go out, scope out land, and install the courses for various municipalities. So, yeah, there's an app called UDisc that allows you to go find courses, and in Nebraska alone, we had a lot of courses in some smaller communities, but there were 9-hole courses here and there, and still spread out quite a bit. You can go up and down the interstate, the highways, and find a course in just about every small town now. And we have big events out in McCook, up in Chadron, Omaha, Norfolk, Kearney, Hastings, Lincoln too. You know, we have big events and big courses everywhere throughout the state now. And then surrounding states, it's easy to find events and big courses there too.
So how many, like when you have, like let's say tournament, how many people are competing?
So depending on how you start it, if you do what's called a shotgun where everybody starts on a various hole at the same time, you can get 90 people on a course. And a lot of the one-day tournaments will max out at that, where they're putting 90 people on a course at one time, playing through 18 holes, take a break, go back and do it again. With the event that I run nowadays, we do a tee time start. So starting at 8:30 in the morning, we send off groups to go play. And we get about 140 on a course throughout a day. For the Star City Classic, the event that I'm running, we use 3 courses at a time. So we can accommodate over 400 people in our event.
And are you expecting that?
Probably not this year yet. Last year was our biggest event. That was the first year we were what we called a PDGA A tier. So it's the highest level of event without being like a national tour for pros or an elite series event. So it's a 30-plus year event that we've been running. We elected to go to that A tier. There's a lot more requirements in terms of added cash to the payout purses and such. So we bumped it up to that level, had 254 participants, which was our first time even over 200. Had a lot of really great feedback, especially using that new course that we built. And we opened up registration on February 1st, and we've already got about 150 people registered. So wow. There's a couple months yet, 2.5 months to register. So when is the event? It is May 17th through the 19th.
May 17th through the 19th.
Yep. And we've got people from all over the country registered already.
So you were just saying like it's not quite at that level where you've got the pro circuit running through, but do you find, where you'll get like a sponsored athlete come through and play the tournament?
Yeah, Logan Harpool is a player from down in Kansas who's been coming to our event for, I think this will be his 4th year. But he's sponsored by Dynamic Discs. He competes on the Pro Tour in some capacities. That tour will be over in Oregon the week of our event. So a lot of the players don't make that West Coast swing, and they play more regionally, and that's the draw we get. So we get some pretty big names. Zach Johnson, another guy, has played in Pro Tour events from Missouri. We'll see some pretty good names. And the Disc Golf Pro Tour is doing something different this year, to where they're having kind of like a what do they call is it the Corn Ferry Cup for PGA? Yeah. So they're doing something like that with their Pro Tour nowadays, where they have a lower tier that people can compete in to earn their tour card, and we're gonna apply to be a part of that. We've been trying to get into that. This is the first year they're doing that, and they said they're still open for accepting more events. So if we get to that too, then it brings a bigger draw of higher quality regional pros that are looking to make a name for themselves in the pro ranks.
So is that something that could happen yet this year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll reach out to them. We're going to fill out the application. They'll make the decision of whether or not we're technically at that event, that level or not. But yeah, it's potential. We're kind of, with the way that disc golf is going in terms of like course design and growth, people literally throw discs 500-600 feet nowadays. And so it takes a lot more. I mean, we're Tiger Woods, disrupted golf by just being able to drive the ball forever. People are doing that with disc golf now, because what used to be played with literally a frisbee is now played with a sharp edge disc that a 500-foot throw is the standard now of what a touring pro has to have for the men's ranks anyway. So if you don't have a big course or a lot of room to work with, it's harder to draw those events. And we have what I would say is probably a pretty good regional pro course in Lincoln. And we're using public park space, so you're hamstrung with that by that.
I'm intrigued by the length that folks will throw the disc. Is it that are they like lifting weights and trying to build muscle? Is it the technique? Is it the actual disc they're using? Like, what's allowing them to get that kind of distance now?
Yeah, so the sport was founded by hippies, right? People
right.
Just
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense.
No,
packing on muscle.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even thinking about probably like the most prominent disc golfer is Paul Macbeth. He's a 6-time world champion. And when he started, he had long hair, plaid shorts, polo, but it was untucked, looking like a hippie kid out in California. And this was, maybe 15 years ago or so. These guys are athletes now. Like, they train. They do the full body motion calculations using technology to find out how their form is shaped. And then companies, like there's a company called Tech Disc that has built in a monitor into a disc that you can tell, like, what's your spin rate, what's the release angle of a disc, how do you change that to get optimum flight out of your disc. So there is a lot with the shape of the discs and the plastics and things like that, but it's become a lot more scientific and a lot more athletic in terms of how people are building their bodies and then making sure that they're using those in the prime ways.
Well, they're taking the technologies and the advancements in golf, and they're adapting it to disc golf. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's come so quickly too that it's crazy. I mean, I remember watching form videos in college, and it seemed like, you still had like bigger guys, non-athletic guys out there showing you how to do that, right? And nowadays, the prototypical disc golfer on the pro tour is a very athletic, prime-built person who is lifting regularly, making sure their nutrition's on point, and then regularly developing their form. It's pretty crazy.
So has it got to the point now, or are we getting close to that, where the sponsorships that athletes are getting are in the nutritional realm?
Yeah, you're seeing some of that. You're seeing like some like Athletic Greens support, some like Celsius sponsorships. And then the number one women's disc golfer is actually from Estonia right now. Her name's Kristen Tatar. And she has sponsorships by like a health and fitness spa in Estonia to make sure that she's taking care of her body properly. And I mean, a lot of these sponsors are still kind of out of the mainstream what's being drawn into the disc golf space, but you see guys and gals picking up a lot of those more health conscious sponsors, like not Whole Foods, Natural Grocers too. That's a company that's been sponsoring touring players for several years. Their family of stores, saying, "Hey, if we got a store where you're located, come get your food for the week."
Oh wow!
So
that's legit.
Yeah. It's really cool to see that too, because there is that outside focus acknowledging what these people are doing to try to care for their bodies and be true athletes.
I have a cousin that used to caddy on that lower tier. You're familiar with Matt, and he had a friend that they would go city to city with, Andrew, and a few years when they swung through Omaha, because we used to have one of those tournaments on the market, and they would stay at our place. Do you see a lot of that as athletes are going to, city to city or whatever? They need a place to stay. 'Cause I mean, just like that grocer, that's a big deal to be able to get your food, for the weekend or whatever it is. Have a place to stay. You're probably looking for people to take folks in.
Yeah, so many of these guys are van lifers. Yeah. They've got the 24-hour fitness passes around the country. That's how they shower. And they need a place to park. So, there's a lot of those people. But there's also a lot more money in the sport nowadays. And you've got some of those top-tier pros that are driving, flying, using Airbnbs, and living that life too. So, and a lot of the people that, I grew up, like some of these pros are my same age that I quote unquote grew up watching, but playing alongside to an extent too. They're having families now too. So
Are the same people winning over and over?
Not anymore.
Okay. I was like, because as you're saying, there's more money in the game. Like, yeah, there's more money if you're winning. So if the same people are winning over and over, city to city, well, yeah, they're having a great life.
Yeah. So first of all, the money really isn't in the winnings though.
It's not?
No.
Oh, man.
There is some good money.
Because in golf, if you don't make the cut and end up in the money, you don't get paid.
No, the manufacturer sponsorships are really where the money's at now.
Okay.
Like right now, there's some good money to be made as a competitor now. Like way better now than it was even 7-8 years ago. But there are multi-million-dollar sponsorship contracts now in disc golf, which Paul Macbeth, 6-time world champion, currently on a 10-year, $10 million contract. Which, not very much considering other sports, but that contract, when he announced that, just blew up the disc golf world. Yeah. There's at least 3 that I know that have actually said their number, multi-million-dollar contracted players right now. So those people making a lot of money.
So what's the sponsor? And this may be the dumbest question you've ever heard, unless you've already heard a dumber one from me today.
I've heard some dumb ones.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This could be. This might be all time.
Yeah.
Because if it's the same answer as if it would be to any other sport, I'm an idiot. Okay, $10 million deal for this athlete. What's the sponsor getting out of it? I mean, what is the athlete delivering on? Like, how are they promoting that brand?
Yeah, so Tiger Woods was sponsored by Nike, right?
Right.
So he wore their apparel, he used their clubs when they had
So it
them.
was the dumbest question you've heard. Okay.
No.
Right.
Yeah, it's the discs. The discs they're using are made by that manufacturer. So Discraft makes the Ultrastar, leading frisbee, and ultimate frisbee. They make disc golf discs, and Paul Macbeth uses exclusively Discraft discs. That's what a lot of the players use. They're strictly using a single manufacturer's discs.
And they're getting that word out within this community enough to get a return on $10 million?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Paul Macbeth made a jump from Innova Champion discs that he was sponsored for since the beginning of his career to Discraft in, I believe it's 2018. When they signed him, they gave him 4 signature molds that he got a name. He made the molds himself, basically. And they released 10,000 of each of those discs, sold out in minutes. Which, again, that number may not seem big, but that was big.
Yeah.
He won a championship again that year. Wow. So then he got a 5th disc, and they released them all with a new stamp. So all these discs now look different, Yep. He then won a 6th championship.
How many do you have of those?
Yeah, none.
Oh,
I custom dyed a disc once, but it's in a tree somewhere.
Oh no, you don't even have it?
No.
Oh no.
That's the thing. Discs are kind of like golf balls.
Well, you know what? That's true. And boy,
they're more expensive, but
I've lost some golf balls in my day. That's for sure.
I've lost several on one hole.
So Nebraska, how many tournaments? I mean, if you're living in Nebraska, let's hypothetically say you, Tony, live in Nebraska. How many tournaments in a summer or even in a given month could you play in if you wanted to?
Yeah, so from probably late April till September, there's a tournament about every weekend.
Very nice.
Somewhere in the state. Sometimes multiple tournaments, too. We're big enough that we're catering to both sides of the state at times. So, yeah, on top of that, though, we travel, Well, I've played tournaments in Des Moines. Emporia, Kansas is a big hub for disc golf.
Kansas?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, small town Emporia, Kansas. Founding of Veterans Day, I think, is what that town's known for. Dynamic Discs is a company that was founded by Jeremy Rusko, guy in college. Just starts selling discs that he finds out of the back of his car and on eBay. Turn that into a multi-million-dollar organization. And just recently, he actually acquired the Emporia Country Club, a golf facility.
Yeah.
Which has been host to several, like they put a disc golf course on there for a while that's hosted world championships and elite series events, but now it's owned by a disc golfer.
Wow.
So it's kind of crazy that this, where the old guys go to play golf, disc golfers control it now.
And you've played there?
I played there. Yep.
Yeah, nice course.
Yep. Nice course. It's long. Used a golf cart to get around. So
So folks use golf carts.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool thing too, where partnerships can be built with golf courses to put a disc golf course on there too. Yeah, if the clubhouse has the facilities, rent a golf cart, take it around too. Makes the round go faster.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I love a golf cart.
I love a golf cart.
I mean, I'll walk a nine-hole par 3 any day of the week, but give me a golf cart anywhere else, and I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm kind of at my point with golf where I'm drinking a lot when I do it.
Yeah,
so
well,
the walking doesn't sound enjoyable one bit.
There's nothing better than missing on off tee, going back to your cart and cracking open an ice cold Kugel summer shandy. Nothing beats that. Let's say hypothetically, you're just off the dome here. You're a podcast and you were looking for a title sponsor for maybe an upcoming launch on YouTube. You ever heard of YouTube?
Yeah, I've YouTube.
It's a big deal. So let's say you were a podcast. Let's say you're looking for a title sponsor. Don't you think Summer Shandy would be perfect for something like that?
Summer Shandy would be perfect. Oh. But you know what else might be great? Because Summer Shandy is supposed to be enjoyed during the summer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Your podcast is on all year.
That's a good point.
Well, there's a season break, but a long time.
Okay, that's a good point.
What about, just hear me out, the Beanery, the greatest coffee shop in the Omaha, Gretna metro area?
Now, people aren't seeing this yet because we're not on YouTube yet. This is still season 1. Season 2, we will be on YouTube. But right now, we're actually enjoying a frozen mocha Beanery coffee, and it's delicious.
It is. It makes this day so much better.
So, did your wife work there, or did she just enjoy Beanery?
She just enjoys.
Because for as long as I've known her, she's talked about Beanery. And then when I moved to Gretna, it was got to try out the Beanery, and it's amazing. Yeah. I mean, we get it often. She's from Gretna, so that's why
she's from Gretna.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know why, but I was like, she had to have worked there, but no, she did not work there.
So
that might have ruined it. She worked at the little grocery store that used to be over here.
Yeah, she used to work at the grocery store that's now the Ace. But I think the high school used to be that school over by the Beanery. It's like the middle school now.
Yep.
So when she was in high school, Beanery's right next door. So out of school, get your coffee. So,
wow, she was in high school that long ago, huh?
Yeah, we're kind of old.
Dang. But you're right. The Beanery would be a perfect title sponsor of Laugh With Me's launch onto YouTube.
Absolutely.
So hit me up. 3
locations in the Gretna area. Another one in Ashland. Come to Lincoln.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
They need that little, because that one off of 180th, it's got that. It's like a trailer, like not a trailer, but like a storage container look, and it's awesome. But people were talking about it when they were building it. They were just like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "It's architecture. Like, it's beautiful. More places need to think outside the box. Get it?
Or inside the box.
Or inside the box." That's we're gonna talk about disc golf again later in the show because I'm not done talking about disc golf. But I want to ask you: you're an old pro in the fight game, and people were like, "Oh, dang! What was he like? Training in like MMA? Was he in like amateur wrestling? You know, surely he wasn't doing like bare knuckle shit." No, much worse. You were like big into just taking people on Facebook. This is an area that Ashley is just now starting to get into, and she's thriving. You know, beating the crap out of people
The mom fights.
on Facebook. Yeah, and mom groups. I think have kind of retired from the game, but man, you used to be hardcore.
Yeah. Well, so I guess to bring everybody up to speed, I'm now a father of 3. I've had to calm down a little bit over the years, but I had a boss one time.
Dad, why are your fingers moving so fast? Cuz.
I had a boss one time refer me to EAP for being so stubborn. And that's translated into my
incredible.
social media game quite a bit too, where it's just like, no, you're wrong, and I'm going to tell you you're wrong, and I don't care what you say.
Were you, when you were in those fights, actually, before I ask you this, give us an example of one of the fights you would get into.
Oh man,
because they're varying.
Yeah,
some were political.
Some
I
were
know
very
that.
political.
Yeah.
Some were social justice kind of stuff. I think there's been a lot just like strictly fact issues where I've called people out on social media where I just know they're spewing bullshit, right?
Right.
Like here's the actual facts, and people are always like, "Say, well, cite your sources. Where's your proof?" Well,
And
I was doing this years ago.
Yep.
But then people still try to fight that, and it's like, no, let me smack you in the face with the truth, and you're still going to try to be stupid about it. So, that's just what got me riled up a lot. It was like, all right, I'll admit when I'm wrong too, but like if I'm proving to you that you're wrong, you need to own it, and I'm not going to stop until you do.
So was it the thrill of it? Like, did you just find it entertaining? Did you ever laugh while you were doing it? And final question on it. Why did you stop? And you can't blame your kids.
All right, not the kids' fault.
Maybe you got shut down. I don't know, but I need to know why, because you were taking on anybody.
Yeah. Okay, so why did I stop? Let's start there. I think I stopped because it got to a point where I realized that because I was having these fights with some people I knew too, not just random people.
Family
right?
too.
Yeah, yeah. And there was a big part of me that just like, I kind of grew up in, I think you would attest to this, that I just kind of didn't give a shit what people thought about me to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
And some people would say that's disrespectful. I would not say that. But yeah, a lot of times with family and stuff. And it actually got to the point, I think, that I had a fraternity brother that I did respect and had a very different opinion on a certain subject. And I realized that nothing good was going to come out of that conversation on Facebook. It's like, you know what? We all have our opinions. I'm not going to change somebody's opinion here. Johnny.
Can you
be quiet over there?
Johnny.
Producer problems.
If I had a nickel for every time he couldn't, keep things in order while we were recording a podcast, I'd have 25 cents? 30 maybe? That's a lot.
One every other podcast.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Johnny Palermo.
Yep. We're getting damn close to a coffee at the Beanery in about 1989. And I'm not, no, let me take that back, because I am not hating on the price. The prices are amazing at the Beanery, and you need to go get a coffee at the Beanery, but I'm just saying coffee prices have escalated. That's all I'm getting at.
Escalated.
Yeah. I backtracked hard, unlike you on Facebook. So why did you stop?
Yeah. So some of those relationships, I just felt like we're getting damaged to a point that, just stop and take a deep breath. And the other part too is I think I was a lot more bored back then. Because there was a part of me that was sitting there like just laughing at what I perceived to be other people's stupidity that I'm responding to. I don't have that time anymore. I
remember reading them, and I was entertained. I can tell you that much. And,
all right.
9 times out of 10, you were right. I mean, you might have been right 10 times out of 10. All I know is you weren't ever going to win it for the very reason you said, like, what are we doing? Like, what are we going to accomplish? I just remember reading them like, oh, what's he going to say next? Because it was exciting. But I also knew you're either enjoying it and this is fine and everybody is, having fun with this, or if you are very serious right now, you're probably fuming, and you're never going to get that release like at the end. Like it's just going to continue to be there, that tension of it,
Right.
and that sucks. Like I was like, hopefully it's not like as serious as real on your end, because that would
No,
it's going to hang on your shoulders, you know?
but like some family events did get pretty awkward.
Yeah.
After those times where, because you.
I have we have shared cousins. There's some that, and I love them, but I no longer have any, I don't know, social connection with at all. And it has to do with some of that stuff. And it's just a difference of opinion. And I love them, and I hope they have everything they ever want in life. And I would think they would say the same about me, but that doesn't mean we have to be chummy about topics because I know we disagree.
Yeah, the sole interaction at some events is just like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, good to
and
see
I
you're
move on to
healthy.
the next cousin.
Right.
We got a lot of cousins.
We do have a lot of cousins. Which, remember Grandma had those pictures
Yes.
on that? Remember mine being at the top?
You mean because they were staggered up and down? You were never on the ends.
No, but we didn't care about the ends. We cared about the height, and I was at the top. I just needed someone to remember what I'm remembering so that I can move on with some backup here.
Listen, I can't back you up because I don't know if I was at the bottom or not. So I cannot support this.
You know what's funny? Like, all right, so there literally was millions of us cousins in this family, and
Our grandparents, on your dad, my mom's side, had
10 kids. And all of
Insane.
those kids had a million kids, and those kids had a million kids, and Grandma had all these pictures of all the grandkids, the great grandkids, and everything. But I always would hold the argument that I was at the top of the power ranking because my picture was at the top, and I would never throw that at you because in the back of my mind, I'm like, I mean, you're the closest to her. Like you probably have an argument to being at the top. So that's why you never heard me going, oh, Tony, I'm at the top. No, I was saying it to everybody else because in the back of my mind, I'm like, that's a fight I'm going to lose. It's a good thing I didn't bring that up on Facebook because you would have come at me hard.
I would have, but I will, now that you kind of, gone back and corrected this, acknowledged that I was her favorite. I will give you the credit of saying, yes, you were at the top.
I appreciate that. It's Stephanie, our cousin, that always told me otherwise. And
She's
I'm
full
like,
of shit.
Exactly. Yes. No, I will fondly remember being at the top of that list. And, now that you know that I know that you probably were at the top of the list, I think we can move forward with that.
JC and I fight, though, because in later years, he kind of supplanted me.
Oh, well. But when you say later, how old was he?
I don't know. He's a little guy.
Always is.
I
Always
mean,
has been.
probably when he was like, 12 to 15 years old. I was in college.
Yeah, okay. So he was the new Tony.
He was the new Tony.
Right, because you were out of the picture.
But he probably never lived up to that, so.
Well, when did you start playing candy stand mini golf? Was that in college or high school?
No, that was, that might have been at Dawes Middle School.
Really?
Dude, I remember using like what did they call it? Like torrents or something to get around like the firewalls at school.
Yeah.
And I'd go to like miniclip.com with all the games or just go to what's Lifesavers, whatever their Lifesavers website was where they had the candy stand mini golf. Oh yeah. I think it was middle school when I started that.
Because there was one class in high school where this is all I did.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even tell you. It might have been debate class. I was just like, the first year of debate, I worked to understand it because I felt like it was interesting. I felt like I was good at it. Mm-hmm. And then once I tasted just the slightest bit of success or any credit at all to me in this game, I was like, I'm the king of the world, and I'm going to play mini golf while you guys get all the evidence and things that I need so that I can beat opponents on the weekends.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the way life should be.
Basically how it went down. And
That taught you a lot about being a manager, right?
yeah, it did. Yeah, except no one told you back in 2000, 2001, no one told you that in 20 years there's going to be a global pandemic, which is going to cause the workforce to drastically decline. And then even as the manager, you're going to also have to do all the things in order just to get through a day.
I think it's funny because I was listening to Fat Lip the other day, and I was like, yeah, kids started listening to this
Yes,
shit.
they did. So I had somebody online comment to that episode and was saying, man, no, millennials were listening to that. You're wrong. Like, that was so long ago. It was like 30 years ago. And I'm like, that's my point. Like, millennials, like, yeah, I was a teenager listening to Fat Lip, but I wasn't listening to Fat Lip as a young child in the back seat of the car.
Right.
The kids, this is what they were listening to as a young child in the backseat of their car, absorbing the lyrics of Fat Lip, whereas I was listening to 80s music and early 90s music in the back of the car, right? So that's my point. Like, these kids grew up with it ingrained. It may not be their music of their generation, but it's oldies to them.
It's like subliminal messaging
Yes.
that had the wrong impact.
Yep.
Yep.
And I love Sum 41. I'm going to see them again before they're done. Did you know they're done?
I did not know
They're on their final tour.
Oh, are they coming through?
Yeah. In April, they're going to be here in Omaha.
All right.
Yep. Yep. Well, that's got nothing to do with Candy Stand Mini Golf, but
No.
I will say I love that game. Those are the types of games I miss. And as I say the words, I guess there's a million apps on my phone that probably play games just like
No,
that.
no, they're not. They're not the same. Okay, like Miniclip was the site for like all those stupid games, like Trials, Bikes, Candy Stand, Mini Golf, 8-Ball Pool.
Yeah.
That site is trash now. And last time I was trying to like play just 8-Ball Pool on it, couldn't get through to it. So yeah, can you find an app for that? Maybe, but there's nothing like playing Candy Stand Mini Golf online.
It was
especially on your high school computer.
Yeah, especially when you're supposed to be doing homework or whatever you're supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Apparently, you're supposed to pay attention in school. You were a good student, so you probably weren't getting too deep into that. But
No. I failed a class in high school.
What?
And it was creative writing. Let me explain this. Okay?
You were bored.
I was bored.
Yep.
Like, here's the thing, too. I can write the shit out of a
Yep.
paper if you prompt me. Like, tell me what you want me to write about. No problem. No, so you're just like, come in every day, just write. Write what's on your mind. There's nothing on my mind that I need to write about. So, but we're at a computer. So guess what I did?
Yeah, you play mini golf.
Turned on music, played mini golf.
You should have wrote about that.
Then I wouldn't be playing mini golf. If I was writing about it, I can't play it. But yeah, my mom got pretty pissed about that one.
And then you would go home and play Tony Hawk
Then I go home and play Tony Hawk on Nintendo 64.
on Nintendo 64.
On
yeah,
Nintendo
yeah,
64.
yeah. Definitely not
Yep.
on the torrent or whatever you're doing.
No.
Yeah.
But even, like, listen, I know at least Kyle had, like, a GameCube at some point.
Yep.
Did you guys ever have an Xbox or PlayStation?
So not when we
Okay.
were at home. No, we never had that. We had a 64 at one point. We had a GameCube at one point. Super Nintendo. We were a Nintendo family.
Yeah.
Family friendly games.
So GameCube was the highest upgrade. Yeah, my Nintendo 64 was the only thing that I ever had. All I ever wanted. I had all the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games that you could get on there, and I was obsessed. Well, fast forward to Christmas of what year is it? 2022. My birthday's on Christmas. I think you know this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which was always fun because when we as kids we'd get together for Christmas, or the family would get together, and then it was like afternoon time,
Yep.
evening, then we would celebrate your birthday.
Yep, it was great. It was great. My wife, bless her soul, bought me an Xbox and the new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 game.
Oh yeah.
And I'm in heaven these days.
So do you find it's like ride a bike, like you're picking it right up? Oh, okay.
I beat one like pretty quick. Like honestly, it's kind of disappointing because I've already beat him. So then I'm like, all right, what do I do now?
Well, I didn't know if maybe in your older age or even with
No.
the gap in playing it, like, oh man, I'm like 2 steps off where I used to be.
No, and it's honestly way easier now because you couldn't manual in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 originally, and you can now. So all the challenges are stupid easy now. So yeah, never been much of a gamer, but that's it right there.
Do the kids play?
No, not yet. Well, they try to, but
Yeah. Just kind of roll
just
around.
like roll around, run into a wall.
That's me. That's me.
In real life?
In real life,
Me.
Yeah, so, speaking of, So Hattie, my daughter, she has a skateboard. I've got a skateboard. We really want to learn how to skate, and she really put my feet to the fire this last winter or last fall, going into the winter. And she's like, next year we're gonna skate. Like, we're gonna skate. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, because I'm months away from any potential skating, and now here we are, summer shandy season, and I need to learn to skate. Well,
first question
what's a
is,
fella to do?
do you got a pair of Vans?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. So first step.
Step one.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. Step 2, listen to Goldfinger while you're...
Listen to Goldfinger.
Step 3, turn that hat backwards.
Step 4, probably get a helmet now.
So, like, all that stuff, solid. It's the, like, rolling.
Yeah.
When you're on the board. Like, I can roll down the hill. I can't do anything. Well, here's what I'd love to do. I'd love to be able to, like, ollie. I'd love to just be able to roll down the street without thinking I'm going to hit the smallest of rocks and break my head open.
Yeah, so I did that Friday.
You broke your head open?
Well, I didn't break my head open.
Oh.
But I walking the kids to school, I decided to grab the skateboard and have some fun, right? I'm between my driveway and the neighbors, and I hit like a little twig and literally just went head over. Just fell right down. It's like,
were you by yourself?
No. I got a 5th grader, a 3rd grader, and a kindergartner all standing
They were
right
with
there.
you.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're just laughing at me.
Yeah.
Like, right? Yeah, of course they are. So
I was hoping they weren't with you. I was hoping it was you on, like, the way back. No. And it's just you. And then, because then there's that look, the look around of, did anyone see that?
Yeah. No, but then on the way back, I did come across another dad on the other side that I talk to every now and again. He's like, you need to build a half pipe in your backyard and I'll be over. So I think now we're going to build a community, a little mini ramp there.
You need one.
So, yeah.
That's what I want to go to, like, because, there's those skate parks.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go to a skate park, but I also don't because I don't want to embarrass myself in front of the other guys,
Yeah,
like,
that's valid.
Like, nobody's going to the basketball court at the playground and can't even dribble, can't even shoot.
It's not where they're learning how to play.
Yeah, like they're learning at the house, Like, I'm not going over there and airballing everything to look bad in front of the boys. Like, I want to be able to skate and be like, oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah, several years ago, I decided to pick up a BMX bike again. And the first time I went to the skate park, there were like these kids like 10, 12 years old or so. Like, hey man, can you 180? I was like, I guess I'll try. It's like, no. Then I sprained my ankle practicing in the street a couple weeks later. It's
Oh,
like,
no.
Dude, you're old, man. Stop doing this.
I think in my brain, I'm still, 25.
Yep.
My-
I'm like 13.
30, well. But my body, even though I'm not even this age, my body feels like it's 55. Like, I'm 10 years away well, I guess it's 15 now. Didn't they raise retirement age? So, like, I'm like 15, 20 years away from retirement. My body says. In reality, I'm like 30.
Yeah. Growing up, it's kind of a bitch.
Yeah. Sucks. One thing that doesn't suck is seeing your favorite band, Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy.
Live in concert. We went to
Kansas
Casey Mo-ish. We were Overland Park.
Yeah.
And saw Fall Out Boy last summer. Also, my son Braden's favorite band. So how many times have you seen them?
I've seen them 3.
Okay.
So yeah, West Fair, Lincoln, Casey.
Okay. Out of those 3, what was your favorite show so far?
Casey oh no, Lincoln, but we had seats right up next to the catwalk, like 13 rows back.
Yeah.
It's like
There's nothing
I was
like being
so,
right there.
yeah, so close. But the KC show was so exciting, like so much energy in that show.
Okay, so the personal experience of being close, that's number one.
Yeah.
But the show itself would have been the most recent one last year in
Yeah.
Kansas City. What like how'd you get into them?
Because I was an emo kid in like 2005. When From Under the Cork Tree came out, so TRL was still big back then.
That actually makes a lot of sense because to me, like you're 7 years younger than me, and it's like I remember going to Warped Tour and Fall Out Boy just coming up playing like their first Warped and seeing him, and Sugar's out, and people either love him or they hate him, and I'm like, you were far younger, like then. How did you even get into him? But that kind of makes sense because if you're an old emo head like you, you love Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, I mean at that time, LimeWire was the way to get music, and I had a friend who he did it for me. He just gave me an iPod Shuffle with a bunch of music on it, and Fall Out Boy was all over it. Panic at the Disco was all over it. My Chemical Romance, but Fall Out Boy, that's what's been the tried and true. Always there. Keeps coming.
Dirty confession right now.
Okay.
Dirty confession.
Big news, people.
I never really got into the LimeWire or the illegal downloading of music because I always wanted to support the artist. What's wrong with me? I could have had so many cool songs and cool moments for free, and I'm sitting here like, no, I'm going to go to Target and buy the CD.
No, but you're a better person for that, too.
No. Don't give me credit for that. What is wrong with me? Because I should have been downloading music by the hundreds.
Probably. You probably could have pursued your music management career more so if you could have found like some up and coming band through LimeWire downloads.
You're right. Do you think that was like TikTok before TikTok? Like that's how you found music. That's how you found.
But the problem is it always came with the side of viruses to your computer.
Yeah, but the issue with TikTok is sometimes you get your algorithm all screwed up because you get like one bad a video that comes through that you're like, you stop for a second because you're like, what the hell is this? And then next thing you know, you're getting a whole bunch of videos like that.
So I stay away from TikTok, but like the same thing happens with Instagram, like scrolling the reels. It's like, then I'm like, why the hell is this what pops up all the time? So like, and the thing I love about what I find on Instagram is like the stupid dad jokes. Guy, there's this guy Logan. I don't remember his name. Sits on a dock with a
Logan
mug.
Paul.
Yeah, no, not
Logan Paul. Prime. He's got the drink. He's a WWE.
No,
he's a big YouTuber.
No,
Laugh with Me's coming to YouTube season 2. Logan Paul.
What's his brother Jake?
Yeah, Jake Paul. He's the boxer.
He's the boxer.
Yeah, he's badass. He's the problem child.
Man, to just make millions being stupid.
That's the thing. If I would have had a camera, I had a camera, but I wasn't thinking about what to do with it back
Well,
then.
no, you guys did really cool things with cameras, like jump off roofs.
Backyard wrestling.
Backyard wrestling.
Yeah.
We just didn't have the distribution channels back then like you do today.
You're the first person to ever say that was cool. So thank you.
What?
Thank you.
Come on. Like Kyle popped out of a trunk, right?
Yeah, we had storylines.
Like
we were writing.
Yeah, this was legit.
That was creative writing.
This was better than WWE.
It was back then.
Which was WWF at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Man.
But I don't know anybody cooler than you guys when Kyle jumped off the roof of the overhang onto you on the table.
Funny story, not that event, because they were events, trust me. But we had one in Mike's parents' backyard, and it's a big show, right? Like we're producing this wrestling show and filming it and everything. And we didn't know this until this last summer, but Mike's brother, his friends would come watch. We had an audience. I had no idea. Like I'm in the main event. You'd think I would know that there was an audience. No, they were there, and I guess he would tell his friends. He's like, "You guys can watch, but you can't. Like, don't do anything. You can't." And
that's wild.
Treated it like this big deal. I'm like, what? We should have charged them tickets or something.
I'm surprised they didn't ask for your autograph.
I know. You should have. I definitely have it marked down that I need to find this footage and like put together some clips of it because it might do something.
Footage, isn't it?
is VHS footage. Yeah.
Not
So
even mini deck. Like,
it's gonna look legit. Like it's gonna look vintage.
yeah. Jeez. Do you even have a VHS player?
I think I do in a box somewhere.
eBay.
Oh, I do. I know that I do because Kyle once for my birthday bought me a used VHS player and a used Tony Gwynn tape.
Oh.
It's badass.
That's sweet. What a great gift.
Yeah, it is. So I need to find that box with those two items in it and then find the footage, make it happen. It's going to happen.
Nice. Yeah. We need like a full movie theater premiere when you find that footage.
Oh, that 100%. 100%. What were we talking about?
Fallout Boy. Big emo. I don't know.
Something more emo than falling off your roof on your brother.
Oh, good times. Good times.
Oh.
No. Oh, yeah. That went all over the place. But yeah, Fallout Boy.
I love Fallout Boy.
They're coming back.
They're coming back. We'll be there. Like I said, it's Braden's favorite band, and they're back in Omaha on his birthday. So he would, like to attend the show. So I'm sure we'll find ourselves at the Shy Health Center, which, we are still looking for a title sponsor for Laugh With Me on YouTube. Shy Health Center, Omaha. If you would like to be the title sponsor, I'm willing to negotiate.
CHI, let's go. Yep. Good opportunity there.
Yep. I have frequented your facilities. Had many a camera shoved up my butt. So, colonoscopy, guys. It was colonoscopy material.
Oh, I thought it was like somebody trying to get their phone out of their pocket, just swiping right. Tight quarters. That's more of a SoCal experience.
Yeah, SoCal, yeah. The old SoCal. Have you been to the new one?
I have not been to the new one. No.
It's nice.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's
Man.
nice. Yeah, you'll have to check a show
That's
out.
awesome that they kind of did something new. What's it called now?
The Admiral.
Okay. Isn't there an emo night coming up there soon? I feel like.
There is an emo night coming up, but I don't think it's there. Have you ever been to emo night?
No.
Oh,
I want to experience that so bad. Like I feel like that's my space. So.
You haven't lived.
Okay.
You haven't lived. You haven't lived. You're a dead man.
34 years old with nothing to show for it.
It's such a great time, and it's such a basic concept. It's a DJ playing songs that we love.
That's literally it.
And we sing the songs.
This is incredible.
It's incredible.
Oh my gosh. It's like a Fall Out Boy concert.
And they have hype men. Like there's a hype man just like, yeah, come on, sing it. And then they'll pause the song so we can sing, because we're the star of the show. Oh, it's a great time. Everybody's singing.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Yep. They bring in a guest sometimes.
Well, that's what I've seen is like it's always like somebody from I think it's like somebody from We the Kings coming to the Omaha one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. I went to one. Someone from Hawthorne Heights
Okay.
was the guest. I don't know if we were in a cooler city than Omaha, we'd get like Machine Gun Kelly or Mod Sun or Avril.
You say that, but like Omaha gets everything.
Yeah, but not an emo night.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Well, yeah. When it's like emo night LA, of course, everybody's just right there.
That's a
They
big
just roll
deal.
by. I know.
Yeah, emo night. It's legit. I think emo night should be title sponsor of
Emo night.
Laugh With Me.
It's the perfect podcast for emo night.
It really
Think
is.
about it. We'll talk more about those emo bands. We saw Alkaline Trio.
Alkaline Trio, and I really wish. I don't know. I was telling Ashley this. I'm like, I love that Tom's back in Blink, right? The original lineups. That's it. Like that's everything. But I still want to kind of see the old lineup.
You want to see Matt show up every now and again?
Or why can't they all perform together? I don't know. Like that'd be kind of cool.
1, 8, 2, 3.
Yeah, why not?
Matt's number gonna be.
I don't know. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'd actually be a really cool show if like Matt and Tom got to fight each other on stage to decide who gets to keep performing.
Well, that would be fun.
That would be fun.
But Tom's got the aliens on his side.
Tom has the aliens. I guess if I were Matt, I'd probably stay home and avoid being probed.
Yep.
You know something about that, though.
That'll happen at the Shy Health Center, which I have experienced a few times. Not at the center. Yeah, at the arena. Don't go to the arena.
Colonoscopy.
Yeah, I went to a Creighton basketball game and probed up my butt.
Can we talk about you being a J-sker?
I'll defend this to the day I die. Here's the thing. Go Big Red, right? Always. And I still root for Nebraska, but I live in Omaha. In Omaha, Creighton is everywhere you go. Like, let's say right now, I'm going to hold you to this. You're a Detroit Lions fan. Mm-hmm. If right now, for whatever reason, you had to move to Minneapolis, Minnesota, you telling me you wouldn't frequent some Vikings games and kind of...
Yeah, when the Lions are there.
Nah, you'd go to some Viking game. Or maybe that's a bad example because they're in division. Let's say you moved to California, and now you're suddenly right there with the Niners, San Francisco 49ers. You would get caught up in the hoopla and want to be a part of your community, and you'd be rooting for the 49ers. Not saying they're your team, but you'd be rooting for them, right? And that doesn't mean you're not a Lions fan. It doesn't mean you wouldn't root for the Lions. I see it as that.
All right, I'll just give you a pass. Here's the thing, though, too.
When they play each other, when Creighton and Nebraska play each other, I just hope everybody has fun.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's competition. Somebody's got to win. But here's the thing that I think about, too, because you're not even from here. And so you're born in San Diego.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you moved to Iowa pretty quickly. Like, Kyle was born in Iowa, right?
No.
Kyle was born in San
We
Diego,
were
too?
both born in San
Oh,
Diego.
okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, but there's a 3-year difference between you two?
4.
4-year. So you're around 5, 6 then probably when you moved to Iowa?
I was older. When we moved to Iowa, I was in 2nd grade.
Okay. So you never like caught on to the Hawkeyes or the Cyclones?
Not really. But I think because my mom and dad weren't really big into like college sports. Like we never really had a college fandom of any type.
Well, Des Moines doesn't have.
And Des Moines got Drake, but it wasn't really like Drake's got some teams now, but
you don't have the campus there. Like Ames is
Right.
far enough away; it's separated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we never really rooted for a college necessarily. Then, if we had to choose, maybe Iowa, just because everybody around us was, but there wasn't really into that. We were always into like the professional sports because when we were in San Diego, that's who we were following. Padres, Chargers, but.
And I'm the exact opposite. All I know is the Huskers. Being
Right, because you're from Lincoln. Yep. But when we moved to Nebraska, it's pretty hard not to get excited about Big Red.
Everything is red on Saturdays.
That was peak. We moved here in 96.
Oh, okay.
That was like peak Nebraska.
Yep.
So I got to experience as a young kid, because when we moved to Nebraska, I was in 8th grade, middle of 8th grade. So I was feeling that energy for sure.
So you are just a bandwagon Husker fan turned J-sker. Okay. All right. Full circle moment.
Damn it.
No, I'm kidding.
Go Big Red.
GBR.
Roll Jays.
No. Can't say that. We'll see you in the NCAA tournament.
You think Nebraska's going to make it?
Nebraska's going to make it. They're going to not win again. But
you know what? Win one game on the road and we'll talk.
If only they would have won against Illinois.
Yep, that's gonna be they've got monster wins, and they're basically unbeatable at home. If you could just get a win on the road, man, that would make a difference to that resume.
It's crazy how different they are when they play on the road versus at home.
Yeah, you think they get scared?
I'm not a sports psychologist.
Games happen at night. It's dark outside. You're in a
Same thing happens here.
You're in a new place. Yeah, but
There's
you're home.
energy.
There's comfort.
Yeah, but there's energy still. I don't care about the comfort. I think you gotta just sports is about energy, finding that energy and harnessing it. Right? It's like, I don't know. Is there any team in the Big Ten where you go and the arena's empty? I don't think so.
Not empty.
So there's energy to feed off of. You got to find a way to harness that. And there's like Sam Hoiberg knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only player on that team that can find it every time. but he's not a starter. So
I know where there's an arena that has like 20,000 strong every home game.
they also host women's professional volleyball.
That they do. Big crowds, too.
Big crowds.
Big crowds.
I think they're averaging 11 over the few games they've been there.
I hope it keeps up. I mean, obviously, at first, everything gets, a peak of attendance or attention. I hope it maintains because that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But to your point, we're talking about the CHI Health Center, which
Yes,
would
we
be
are.
a great title sponsor for your podcast.
Oh, my God. It'd be perfect. Perfect. I'll even do my shows live right next to the metal detectors as everybody's coming into the arena. And because no one likes doing that. Like, nobody you could take your wallet out and your keys and everything out, your phone out of your pocket.
But laugh with me while you do it.
Right. Yeah, I'll just be there blabbering about the thong song. Like, it'll be amazing.
You think Cisco's a Creighton fan?
I know Cisco's a Creighton fan. I know he is.
Yeah, no. Thong song, we're done.
God. I've got so many cool thong song stuff coming up.
Oh, gosh. It's not dead yet.
Oh, no. I've just begun. How come every time I say that response always happens? Every time I say to somebody, I've got all this cool thong song stuff coming, it's always, oh, my God, we're not done.
Listen, thong song was great.
Is great.
But is great. But I mean, think about other songs from back then, like Shaggy, It Wasn't Me.
Yeah, but this song holds up.
You don't think It Wasn't Me doesn't hold up?
No, not like this. Everybody's wearing a thong. Cisco's got a little bit to do with that.
I'm not wearing a thong, just for the record.
Well, I'm not asking to check either, but
Oh, that thong, the thong.
for a second I thought you were going to sing it. Like, that's incredible.
No,
All right, I'll play it.
nah, we're good.
What else you got? What do you got? You brought notes. Nobody comes to the show and brings notes.
Oh, yeah.
I bring the notes. You brought notes.
There's a lot of disc golf notes here. I did just want to shout out Taylor Swift's boyfriend for winning his 3rd Super Bowl.
Go
You
Bolts.
know, I like my iced coffees and pumpkin spice and consider myself a bit of a basic bitch, so go Swifties.
One good thing about the Chiefs, it's tough to say there's a good thing about the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, but one good thing about that is next season, the champion always hosts the first game, the kickoff on Thursday. Why not have it against the Los Angeles Chargers with their brand new head coach, Jim Harbaugh. In prime time, Casey Moe. I'm excited about the potential of a Chargers-Chiefs opening night.
That could be exciting. Mm-hmm. We might make that trip.
I'll be in the parking lot.
We were supposed to make a trip this year, but a lot of things happened.
To the Chiefs game?
No, we were supposed. I was gonna go out. I thought we should have gone to LA for the Chargers Lions game.
You're right.
But again, my wife.
What's her problem?
Babies, man. Babies. Yeah, so I got some notes here. I guess first thing, I'm on a 12-week paternity leave right now, paid from my job. That is the greatest thing in the world. And I don't think enough, if there's bills out there, I'm advocating for this in all opportunity.
I started 23 on a 12-week leave, unpaid though. I think what you're doing is better. I just want to give you credit for that.
Thank you. You should have had a baby.
I should have had a baby. But instead, I was just like, you know what? I'm good. But yeah, you know what? I like your idea.
Yeah.
But how come more places don't offer that?
America. I don't know, man. I work for a big corporation, so they got to look cool. So that's why they do it. But I don't know. It's in 12 weeks is a long time.
So have they completely left you alone for this 12 weeks? Like, are you completely in the dark?
Well, yeah. For the first 10 days or so, I still had access to my computers and was because I'm kind of a workaholic. So I was still checking my emails and stuff. And then they shut me down. Wow. They turned it away. So I still talk to some of my coworkers, and I talked to my boss today because I found out I qualified for a big end of the year trip for being successful last year. So
who knew that being away from work made you successful?
Well, you know.
It turns out the less you do, the more you accomplish.
Exactly. If you're not doing less for more in today's day and age, you are not winning at life.
So you get to go on a trip?
Yeah, so I get a free trip to the Waldorf, whatever it is in Arizona, before I go back to work.
Before?
Yeah, the trip's like a week before. So
Is it a work trip or is it vacation?
It's work sponsored. Like it's the chairman's club, top salespeople in the company get to
So you
go.
have to go to a dinner and something.
Yeah. But otherwise, I got to sit poolside, drink, and get a massage at some point. So without my kids,
disc golf in Arizona, I bet. Is
probably going to go disc golfing in Arizona. Probably.
Wait, what time of year is this?
It's March, mid-March.
Spring training.
Yeah.
Are you into that?
Yeah, I'm going to try to hit up a spring training game while I'm there.
There you go.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have the details of like what's expected of us, but yeah, I'm going to enjoy the heck out of that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of spring training, I just want to point this out because we didn't have the cameras rolling. But in my basement, I'm a Padres fan. In my basement, I've got a San Diego Padres pinstripe Juan Soto jersey because I thought he was going to be a Padre for life, and then our owner died. And that changed everything. And then we traded him to the Yankees early December. You are a big Yankees fan. Huge. One of the biggest Yankees fan I know. And
Probably second.
And I made a comment about how I've got this Soto jersey with the correct pinstripes, and you're like, what? We got Juan Soto? Breaking news on Live With Me. Juan Soto has been traded to the Yankees.
This happened on December 6th. I'm in the midst of having a baby 2 weeks after that, and I got to finish out the last month of the year. Like, I'm not on social media fighting people or reading up on the Yankees news.
Which means you have time on your hands, and you just said you're at the point of your leave that you're kind of bored. So have you not? We're at spring training's beginning. I mean, have you not looked like, I wonder what our projected lineup's looking like?
Well, no, of course I did.
Juan Soto and left. What?
But you know how social media works. That happened in December. Nothing new is posted about it. So
Yeah,
if I don't seek out the information, it's not going to pop up now.
It's not coming to you.
No.
That's funny.
So
It's so true. And us talking about these things, I'm sure now in the algorithm, you're going to have Juan Soto content.
it's probably going to be Padres content.
There's going to be
now,
Padres
too.
content and Kill Tony content.
Kill Tony. Let's go.
And the
Kill
Shy
Tony.
Health Center, for some reason, is offering you advertisements for concerts. It's
Okay,
gonna be
maybe
weird.
I'll get a coupon for a free beer at the Fall Out Boy concert.
Oh, they're not handing out beers for free. I promise you
Assholes.
that. Yep.
$12 for a 12 ounce. Probably. We are not getting drunk that night.
What are you talking about? We're pre-gaming.
We're pre-gaming. Where are we
Yeah.
pre-gaming at?
Downtown.
Okay, I haven't been to too many shows at the CHI or too many anything, but like where is the downtown relative to the arena? Because like there's that giant parking lot, right?
Yeah, it's not there.
And then there's a hotel. The parking lot's not there?
No, the downtown's
Oh.
like what you're referring to.
Yeah.
What you're referring to is a parking lot and not
Right,
where
right.
we will be.
But like Pinnacle Bank Arena, Lincoln, bar right across the street. Multiple bars right across the street.
Yeah, there's a DJ's dugout. Are you familiar with DJ's?
Yeah.
There's a DJ's dugout right across the street from.
Like next to the hotels there?
Yeah, the Hilton. It's
Okay.
it's like connected with the Hilton there.
All right.
And then, but
DJ's Dugout.
But
Want to
little
sponsor a
further
podcast?
DJ's Dugout, proud sponsor of Laugh With Me's launch on YouTube. That would be legit.
Season
Do some live
2.
shows. Season 2 is gonna be monster. It's gonna be a monster.
Get some CWS action on there?
Oh yeah, shoot! I may just get a table and just set up shop on a corner of a street down during the World Series and put a little tent up and just start podcasting and then just see what happens.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, this is 100% not a real idea or an original idea, but I think it sounds like fun.
I might be able to sponsor you with a generator if you really want to go that route.
Oh yeah,
I'd help you out.
I appreciate that because then I can hook up some fans. It gets hot out in June.
My goal in life is to have famous relatives.
Yeah,
So I need you to
so
make
you're
it
like,
big.
could you do something, please? Oh man, what were we talking about? Oh, DJ's Dugout, and then just down the street's the Old Market, which has everything you've ever wanted.
Okay, I just haven't been around Omaha.
Are you getting your nose pierced before the show?
Should I?
Yeah.
All right, I
I
guess
think
so.
so. They do that down there.
Okay. Maybe get a new tattoo right before the show too.
You're gonna need an appointment.
Okay.
That might be tough to just get.
You don't think they do
But
walk-ins?
Not where.
Not reputable places.
Yeah, I mean down there anyhow.
Okay.
You might be able to, but it's highly unlikely.
We can't miss the show.
No, we're not missing.
Yeah, actually, about missing the show, I can't remember who's opening them up for them.
For Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
It's Jimmy Eat World.
It is Jimmy Eat World.
Yep.
Wait, are they coming to? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because for some reason I feel like they're not going to be at the Omaha stop, which is going to suck. But
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Okay. While you look that up, I have a confession to make.
Why am I looking this up? Johnny should be looking this up.
Johnny,
God, he's the laziest producer. Jimmy Eat
it's
World.
hard to find good help in this
Omaha.
post-COVID era.
It really is.
I have a confession.
Yes.
Machine Gun Kelly opened up for Fall Out Boy in 2018 when they were in Lincoln, and I like Eminem.
April 5th.
Oh hell yeah! All right,
Fall Out Boy, Jimmy World.
all right, sweet.
You like Eminem?
I like Eminem.
I like Eminem as well.
During that time was the big Machine Gun Kelly Eminem battle, like Kill Shot, all that shit going on. I walked out during Machine Gun Kelly's set, and that is like one of my biggest regrets in life now.
As it should be.
Yeah.
As you sit here and give this confessional in front of the Machine Gun Kelly shrine here in the Laugh With Me podcast studio. Yeah, I actually appreciate you doing this. You might be forgiven.
Maybe.
Not my call. It's his call, but I'll put a good word in for you.
I appreciate that.
Holy cow. I don't know that when you say walk out, you went and got a beer.
Yeah. Went
okay.
and got a beer and stood on the balcony for a while until he was done. Because State Champs opened, was the original.
Would be awesome.
Yeah. My introduction to them, incredible band. I'm so glad I got to see that. But then, yeah, here comes Machine Gun Kelly, and I'm like, fuck this guy.
Wow. All because of the Eminem feud?
All because of the Eminem stuff. I didn't really know his music. I was just like, oh, here's some stupid rapper who thinks he's better than Eminem. And I'm like, no, Eminem is the guy, right?
Did you listen to his diss track on Eminem? It's not
No.
that he thinks anything negative. He idolizes Eminem. He was calling out Eminem for not doing what he should be doing in his status, in his place, and bringing up the young, white rappers that look up to him, that idolize him from the Midwest, just like him. Like they should be taking over the world together. And instead, he puts people. He was saying you're putting people down. You're not elevating your game. You're not reinventing.
You're doing to me right now what I used to do to people on social media, and I'm thankful for it. I just caught up in all the social media stuff saying Eminem versus MGK. This is
That's
going
funny.
back and forth, and I listened to Eminem's song, of course. But
So I started becoming a fan of Machine Gun Kelly from Tickets to My Downfall. So I knew him. I knew he was a rapper. I knew, I knew that I'd heard a song or two, but I became a fan with Tickets. So like his pop punk era, that's what's true to me. And now since I've become a fan, I've gone back and listened to the rap stuff, and I enjoy it. But I do remember that like feud, and I was the same way. I'm like, well, who's taking on Eminem? You know, and I didn't even listen to the diss track. But now that I have, I'm like, oh, that's not even what he was doing. And then
I guess I gotta go listen to it now.
And then the fact that Eminem created Kill Shot, like that just gives, like, to me, that gives the like the tip of the cap. The fact that he even took time out, like to obliterate him, like.
No, I hear you.
Like that is a sign of respect, and it shook up Machine Gun Kelly a little bit, but it was like when your idols come at you, But it's also gave him a little bit of the rub. So
he heard you.
Yep.
He heard you.
I don't know. I thought that
He
was cool,
listened,
and I
so-
think in hindsight, like he's a bigger star now. I mean, that probably has a part of it to do.
They
with
should
it.
honestly just collaborate. At this point, I don't know.
It
Eminem's
would be
not the kind
huge.
of guy who's going to do it, probably.
No, there's no way.
But that's how this needs to come to an end. Is an MGK Eminem collaboration.
I think they've both put it behind them. But
Yep.
yeah, that would be huge. I don't know. But that was a good confession.
Yeah, that was big. The world knows now. I'm probably gonna get attacked.
Hopefully,
I'm not sharing my social media handles.
Don't worry, we'll be putting that out. No, that'll be something Johnny would do.
Johnny,
I'll tell him not to.
don't be a dick, Johnny.
What else you got? You brought notes.
Yeah, I'd like to share a story too, about hospital experiences with babies,
Oh,
if that's okay.
yeah, I'd love to hear that.
So my middle child, Archer, was born in April of 2020. Those were some rough times.
That's like the worst time.
Worst time. There was no snack room at the hospital. You could not have visitors. You couldn't walk the halls. You couldn't have your baby go to the nursery so you could get like 20 minutes of sleep.
Were you even allowed to be in there?
I was allowed to be there.
Okay.
Fortunately. But then you got to get temp checked and the mask thing all the time. Yeah. So I just want to
Forgot
say
about the temp checks.
thank you to the world and everybody who got us to a better place now, because we had visitors the day he was born. We had snacks galore. We had one night, first of all, I had a better bed to sleep in, which I understand the hospital is not made for me as the father, but much better sleeping scenario this time. But one night, nurse comes in, takes August away, and about 3 hours passes, which I thought was the longest they could take him. And I was like, oh, shit, I gotta go get the baby. She's like, oh, no, you just sleep. Whenever you want to go, come get him. I was like, oh, man. So I am so thankful. Hospitals, you've come a long way in just a few years.
It's a resort now?
It's a resort.
They have babysitting?
The Waldorf Astoria Lincoln.
It's the most expensive babysitter you'll ever pay for. But that's some good sleep, though.
That's a good sleep.
That's some good sleep.
That's some good sleep. And, the kid sleeps from like 10 to 4 at night. So even as the father of a newborn, I'm sleeping good.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Man, I remember those terrible couches or chairs and trying to sleep, whatever little bit of sleep you can get. And then, the baby needs change or is crying or whatever. And you go to get up and my back, it locks up. Those things are not meant for sleeping on. But then that's it. That's your only option.
Yep.
Everybody's sleeping there. It's not like a rarity.
You got the recliner chair, which is awful. You got the pull-out couch. I tried putting that mattress directly on the floor one night with our first kid. Mm-hmm. Just nothing good was going to come from any of that.
So I didn't know those couches pull out.
Oh.
So,
And
and no one told
really
me.
Small?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was laying on that. So the most comfortable thing ended up being that recliner, and that recliner wasn't comfortable. I didn't realize. Not that it would have been comfortable, but it would have been better to pull out the couch.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I had a cot one time. They brought in a little cot.
Oh.
That sucked.
I was like, that's nice. It's awful.
I appreciate their effort, though.
Yeah. So yeah, the hospital situation with babies is great, and just the way that back to disc golf. That's why we're here, right? Back to disc golf.
Did you just transition?
Yeah, I transitioned
from the terrible sleeping arrangements for fathers in hospitals when you have a baby to disc golf.
I was competitive in speech. I didn't do debate. I did speech. So nowadays there's this youth revolution in disc golf, and that's what I'm trying to make sure that my kids, from the moment they're out of the womb, are raised to be athletes. And so we had a really great experience. August is clearly going to be my best chance at a professional disc golfer. Margot's a dancer and a soccer player. Archer is a destroyer of all things. So he's probably going to go into professional wrestling.
Going to be a politician.
Oh yeah, that too. Saw this video of a lady's like, which of your kids is most likely to overthrow a foreign government? Why is it your second child? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's mine.
Sense. Yeah.
Kim Jong-un, you're going down. So yeah, there's this youth revolution in disc golf, and like I said, we got this new youth family-friendly beginner course in Lincoln. So I'm excited to take my kids out, but a kid from the Des Moines area I think he just turned 18. He just graduated high school last year. Just won the Pro Tour finale. Just signed the numbers aren't released, but he probably signed a multi-million-dollar deal with a company called Discmania. And people, if you've got kids who specifically maybe have a little lankier body, interested in being outdoors, get them throwing a frisbee, because that's the future.
So do they have like youth tournaments?
Yeah. There's a youth world. They call it a junior. They call it juniors, but world championships. But I mean, some of these kids, like this kid Gannon Burr, is the kid from Des Moines. I competed against him back when he was like probably 12. At some random event in Atlantic, Iowa.
Really?
Yeah, and now the kid's like blown up professional.
And he smoked you?
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's kind of funny because I'm not making fun of him, but you got this kid with his mom walking around with him, right? And here I am, like some 20-year-old dude. Drove myself out there. I'm a big boy, right?
Yeah.
Just getting my ass handed to me. So.
What was the mom doing while he was playing? Was she cheering him on?
Yeah, carrying his bag around for him. Just having. He's very.
Are you allowed to have caddies?
You can, yeah. The Pro Tour allows it too. They give them bibs now. They're not paid like golf caddies are by any means, nor the disc golfers paid like those guys. But yeah, you can have a caddy.
Wow,
it's not. Brody Smith is this guy. He's a YouTuber. YouTube. Hey, looking for title sponsors?
Season 2.
He's a YouTuber and ultimate national champion from Florida, University of Florida, and he joined disc golf. He decided to play disc golf a couple years ago. But before that, he was trying to make it as a pro golfer too for a while. And he's had this talk about like golf is a very cerebral sport, right? And there's so much more variance in how golf courses are built that a caddy really makes sense. Disc golf, from a mental perspective, is a lot the same way, but you don't have to read the course the way you do in ball golf. So a caddy in disc golf is just like somebody to carry your bag around for you.
Okay.
A lot less of a job, I would say.
Is there crossover? Like, are you seeing golfers take on disc golf?
Yeah. Probably less so golfers taking on disc golf and more so disc golfers finding their way into golf too. Like there's several there's a video out there of several of the top disc golfers who recently did a ball golf disc golf challenge actually. Like Drew Gibson's a guy out in California who actually won like his local country club just a singles event recently. So yeah, like I said, I mean, in golf, people think you don't have to be athletic to play golf. You do.
That's a tough game.
So yeah, I mean, these guys are true athletes crossing over between sports nowadays. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
So let's talk about your tournament. We've got that coming up. How many weeks did you say? Because it's in May 17th through 19th.
May 17th through the 19th. Yeah.
Yep. So we got a few months still.
Yep.
But you can register now.
Register now, discgolfscene.com. It's called the Star City Classic.
Star City Classic. Yep.
Sponsored by Disc Gauntlet. That's our title sponsor. And we've got about $6,500 added to the pro purse. So good money to be made by the pro competitors. Amateurs, they register and they play for both merchandise payout, and then they also get a player's pack. It's valued over $200, so they're getting more than their money's worth just for showing up and playing. Wow. But yeah, we'll be playing at the Beale Slough Disc Golf Course, the highest rated course in Nebraska, and then the Roper West Course and the Roper East Course in Lincoln. So,
and you can register now. When's the cutoff?
Register now through April 17th. So, and then May 17th, tee times start at 8 a.m. that morning. Friday. Come on out. We allow spectators.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you
sell beer?
Unfortunately, city parks don't allow us to sell beer.
Oh, city. I've been to city.
But I will say,
politicians.
Zipline Brewing Company has a tap house near our Beale Slough course. They're sponsoring us this year in a lot of ways too, with our club and that course. So yeah, go grab a beer at Zipline.
Can you compete?
Me as the tournament director, I cannot compete.
I didn't think so, but I didn't know.
That's one of the most difficult parts about my disc golf life these days is I do more to facilitate other people competing than I do myself. So my competitive bug needs to be itched. I don't know.
Yeah.
Itch a bug, scratch a bug. Itch needs to be scratched.
I squash bugs. I don't know about you. I don't just give them a little tease. I'm not like give them a tickle. What do you do to these bugs?
Some of them are good sources of protein.
Oh my!
So
should have been your confession.
But here was my opportunity to get get accepted by Machine Gun Kelly again. So I'm gonna have to pray to him at the end of this.
Yes, you will. So you're not playing, but you're running the tournament. Star City Classic, Lincoln, Nebraska. Make sure you get registered for disc golf tournament before April 17th.
Yep.
May 17th through 19th is the tournament.
Be there. Yep.
Awesome.
Love to have you guys come check it out.
So when people are like just watching, what do they do?
Cheer good shots. You say, "Oh."
Are you supposed to be quiet?
Shot?
Like, did you be quiet?
Yeah, when people are teeing, like golf. Yeah. I mean, it's closer to the Waste Management Tour event, but we're not like that.
So guys are getting wasted,
There'll probably be
taking their shirts off,
yeah,
and sliding down muddy hills.
There's still a hippie culture in a lot of ways of this sport, so there'll be guys who snuck some beer in their cars getting wasted before they head out there.
All right, this is the part of the show where I like to work out some new joke ideas.
Okay.
And then you tell me if I have anything. Maybe I have nothing.
All right.
Okay. But maybe, too, there's something there. And then I will, continue to develop it and then eventually use it on stage. You've seen me on stage a couple of times. You were there in Lincoln when I performed, but you weren't there for the second show, which was a traumatizing experience. So lucky you were at the first show. I felt like that one went well. And then you were at the last Funny Bone show that Ashley and I critiqued a couple weeks ago on the episode. So that was good. That was fun.
Yeah, that was an interesting experience. But I didn't realize you got judge critiques back on that.
I did.
That's pretty cool.
It is till you read it.
Well, do they just hand you the paper? They don't actually talk to you about it?
No, I got it months later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was probably a month and a half later. I got an email saying, "Oh, here's what they said," which it wasn't bad. It's just I knew it wasn't, my score wasn't going to be good because I ran over on time.
Yeah.
That alone shot me in the foot. So I knew that was going to be bad. I didn't know that they were going to not like my Crohn's meds commercial joke so much, but then after listening to the joke, they're right. It probably needs some work or cut altogether, which is what they said. And then otherwise, yeah, I thought it was encouraging.
Okay.
So
I'll say that compared to some of the other participants, I feel like you use your experience being Crohn's specifically in a good way to make jokes, but it's not the only thing that you talk about.
Right.
Whereas I saw a lot of people that seem to just catch on, especially appearance, seemed to be the only thing they talked about. And I was like, you got to move on from this. So yeah. I appreciate the diversity in your comedy.
Yeah. Thong song stuff.
Thong
Spotify Run Wrapped. Crohn's.
Which apparently nobody heard about Spotify.
It's silence. What do you mean? No one here uses Spotify? It's ridiculous.
Sorry, I don't use Spotify that much either. I'm an Amazon Music guy.
Yeah, I used to be. And then I started using Spotify because there's some Spotify, and it's changing now because but Spotify used to have exclusive podcasts or exclusive, stuff. And I'm like, well, I want to listen to this show. So here we go. So I go to Spotify, and I've very much enjoyed Spotify. In fact, you can find Laugh With Me on Spotify.
That's where I listen to it. But
I did enjoy Amazon. Amazon did have a lot of things, and we will have this podcast on Amazon someday soon as well. But that's another announcement for another day. For right now, I'm working out a new joke.
Johnny, quit letting Jeremy tell news that he's not supposed to share yet.
Okay. There's always struggles with getting older. I have found that there's certain side effects to it. I look kind of young. People always tell me, "Oh, you look super young for your age." But when I take my shirt off, I don't look as young as I maybe am. I'm super hairy. I've been baby soft, baby bald on my shoulders and my chest my whole life. Sometimes when I was 18, people would be like,
You ever gonna hit puberty? Like, you can put hair on your chest. Well, now that I'm 40, I'm hairy as fuck. Like the other day, I'm like, Ashley, check this out. I had this like one hair like strand like right here on my shoulder. I wouldn't have had that hair when I was 18. I can tell you that right now. Like my food, my taste, like my taste buds change. I used to really love cheeseburgers. Used to love hot tamales, like the candy. Now I just give me a box of Russell Stovers, You ever crave like A&W cream soda? Yeah, me neither. It's like reverse. Like I don't think I have anything with this. I'm super wordy. I can tell you that much.
Pretty wordy.
I need to work on the setup. I think the punchline, which is the strand of hair, I fucked that up. So, look, Ashley, I'm super hairy, and then she's like, "You have one strand of hair on your shoulder." Like that's the punchline, right? Right?
Okay.
That's the punchline.
Okay.
But I fucked it up.
Yeah, I was like, "Where are you going with that one strand?"
That's a true story.
Oh,
I
just one strand.
get the one strand. Do you ever get the one strand?
I'm pretty hairier than that.
Oh man, I had like couple of strands on my shoulder the other day, and I get these like really long ones on my eyebrows now.
Oh,
I consider myself pretty hairy, and
that's how you know you're old.
Apparently,
The long eyebrow.
the long. I got like 2 or 3 that come off this left one, and then like one on this right one,
Yeah.
and they're white or black. Sometimes they're black. So yeah, I don't know.
It's changing. Instead of Russell Stovers, Werther's Originals.
Werther's Originals is good.
I feel like that's an older person.
I'm gonna write that
candy.
down. But you understood where I was going.
Yeah, I understood where you're going. Yeah,
All right, I'm writing down the Werther's.
because that's what I remember, man. Grandma's house, hard Werther's Originals, right there. That's some old person candy right there.
Something you could suck on. I mean, why do they always?
Our grandparents giving us something to suck.
Why are they always getting these candies?
Oh man,
You know what I used to get? Hold on, it's a new joke. Different. This is a different idea. I didn't like how shitty I did on that punchline, so I'm gonna give you a different one. Okay. You ever heard the like the reference? Does the carpet match the drapes?
oh yeah.
Yeah, people always say that. Well, since I have red hair, people all thought it was funny. Like bullies would say that a lot.
Crotch.
Yeah. But what about like? Do you think kids these days still use that? Because you think about it, like all these kids rolling around with like green hair. Like, oh, does the carpet match the drapes? Like, yeah, I have mold on my dick. Is that?
I like that.
Do I have something there?
I think that's something to work.
Okay. Why don't you check it out? It's like getting a penicillin shot. All right, is that one?
Expand-
All right, see how you
Yeah,
got
that was
something.
good. That was good.
It's better than
You
the
can
other one.
expand hair colors there too.
Oh yeah, the rainbow. We got the rainbow.
You got the whole rainbow. Yeah, I'm growing Skittles out my crotch.
Yeah, I think that one might work.
Yep.
I got a whole bunch of bully stuff
Okay.
because I got bullied a lot. I don't know if you did.
It's funny because the first time you said the scrotum Odem joke, I was like, other members of my family were called the same thing. I was like, Jeremy, no, you weren't. That's my nickname.
Yep, it caught your breath, didn't it? You
Yeah.
were like,
Yeah. It's like,
no.
scrotum Odem.
Yep.
Damn, I lived that life too.
Sucked. But I like the joke.
I like the joke.
Yeah.
I do like the joke.
But it's actually therapeutic to use it as a joke now because I very much hated it when I was a kid. But as did you. And I never thought of it either. Like we could have been talking about this at like family reunions and Christmas and stuff. We could have just been like, hey, scrotum. Hang in there. Like
Just said
it's okay.
inter-family Christmas cards. Merry Christmas from the scrotums. Just an inside joke.
Should have been. See what could have been.
You should have started the comedy career a long time ago.
Oh, I really should have.
Oh, man.
Would have saved me a lot of egg stocking. I can tell you that much.
Have you thought about just putting an egg in your pocket these days, or is it really over?
I have thought about it, but now I have to do my own laundry, so it's not as fun. Back then, I was living at home, put an egg in my pocket. If it breaks, which it never broke, but if it did, I'm not doing the laundry. You kidding me?
The thing is, too, egg prices have gone down, but they're still a little pricey.
I hate to break it to you, but they just shot up like a rocket. Because you know what's coming, right?
COVID part 2?
Easter. Even worse. So, and in the egg business,
Oh, man.
yeah. So if you're listening to the show and you're like, "Oh, I need to go grab eggs," you might want to go look at that.
I'm going to stop at the grocery store on the way out of town.
Well, dude, thanks for coming on the show.
Appreciate you having me.
I feel like you were nervous about saying yes to coming on the show. Is that true?
I was nervous about saying yes.
You were nervous about saying yes?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, because
Safe space.
Okay, the first time this was ever brought up was at your show in Lincoln.
Yep.
And at that time, the podcast was new. Didn't really know. Like, there wasn't much to be like, okay, yeah, this is what it's like. And so I'm like, dude, I don't got anything to say. Why are you going to put me on a podcast? And then, you know, I hear familiar faces on it. Yep. So, you know, listen, if Kyle can do it, I can do it.
If Kyle can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
That's rule of thumb.
Yep.
Yep. Well, awesome.
And I'm really hoping that he talks some trash to me after he hears that.
You know Kyle's going to come back on the show sometime, and he's going to have plenty to say.
He's going to save it for the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure you'll hear from him before then, but yeah, he'll have plenty to say. Well, thanks for saying yes. Thanks for coming on the show. Like I said at the top, like obviously you're family, but you're a personality. Like, you are a good person with just a positive attitude and always have been. And you've got a lot of life in you that I knew needed to, be shared to the masses. So I appreciate you coming on the show, and good luck with your tournament, and good luck going back to work, man. 12 weeks off and going back to work.
Yeah, a lot of home repairs in the meantime.
You haven't started them yet? You've been off for a while now.
Kids, man.